Maria Agapiou said. Have you played this one before as well? I can't wait to hear your take on the ending. It kept me up all night for days.
Hello, Dazzle! How you doing? Oh, my screen's black. Why is it not showing you the screen? I love it when it, like, decides it's not gonna. There it goes. It was just
Maria Agapiou
being a little
said.
stubborn.
Hello, hello.
Hello there, Maria. How you doing? And have you played this one before? Yes, I have. I've played through this one twice before now, and I absolutely love this game. It is so much fun. The story is amazing, and my take on the ending. Well, we'll wait till we actually get to it, but yeah, the ending. Whew! It's a doozy. Alright, we're gonna, like, start at the beginning. Start from the beginning.
Lobo said. Hi.
Hi, Lobo. How you doing tonight? Ooh, coffee.
Maria Agapiou said. I honestly can't wait. Thank you for the heads up on playing this and choosing this game.
Well, I'm glad that you're excited. I absolutely have loved this series. I don't think that I can get enough of it. I gotta remember
Lobo
the controls.
Said. GD.
You're doing good? Glad to hear it. They're just enough different than the first game that it confuses me, and I just played through the first game again. Oh. Just run off the edge. It's fine. Things are gonna go great. The visual of the tight little cramped spaces that you gotta crawl in are like, ugh. I would never want to be there. Like a little bag of meat. It's fine. And then strange run toward there. It's totally normal stuff. I think that it's really interesting that they decided to start way out in the woods. But that there are still TVs out here. I find that really interesting. Alright. Okay. I'm like, I know I'm supposed to push this. That's fine. That's fine. You just had to warm up to it. was just really, really stuck where it was.
Maria Agapiou said, "Is there a reason why you start in the woods?"
I don't know. I just find it interesting. Like, why did he choose here to come? I personally think that he was trying to get away from the Pale City. Or, I guess not really the Pale City, but from the
Lobo said,
Signal Tower.
"Does Baggy get slaves or eat any mushrooms?"
Does he get slaves? No.
Agent said, "Hi."
Hi, Agent. How you doing tonight? There's all kinds of, like, nooks and crannies in this game. This is, like, the first place to find one of his, little staticky people. And you definitely want to find all of them. It took me, like, a couple times going through to find them all.
Agent said, "I'm doing fine-ish. How about you?"
I'm glad to hear that you're doing fine-ish. I'm
Maria
doing
Agapiou
okay.
said, "Who is your favorite character in Little Nightmares games?" Lobo said,
Who's my favorite?
"Where the Fatso Chef is?"
No chunky chef. As far as, like, who's my favorite character goes, I like the character that is in the DLC of the first game. He doesn't get a name. But I think that his story was actually, like, just chef's kiss, just best. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think the whole series is really amazing, but I think that one was probably just the most, what happened? What are you doing to me, game? Yeah. I can't even remember where they all are. But you definitely don't want to miss any and then, like, jump on one. It's fine. It's a bad day.
Lobo said, "Seven had the most slave, let's be honest."
Seven had the most slave? I guess I don't know what you mean. I mean, he keeps a well-stocked fridge. probably as heavy as he is. It's crazy. You hear somebody playing music, it's totally reasonable to, like, bust down the door! Ugh! And, like, you see all the, like, lines in the background where she's been, like, counting days? And it looks like there's, like, another kid drawn with her that's got, like, an X. It's like, oh, things were happening here. It's like a group of them were captured together.
Lobo said. The DLC's main character's name is Seven, right?
I don't know what his name is. I've never seen anywhere that there was any kind of indication of what his name is. Like, Six, you know what her name is because there's a DLC. I mean, there's a achievement. And same thing with Mono. You know his name because of an achievement name. But there's nothing in the DLC to tell you what his name is. Like, none of the DLC's achievements give you his name like these ones did. I mean, not to say that his name isn't Seven. I have no idea what it is.
Maria Agapio said. I thought the music box was important for the little girl but still left it.
And there's a mannequin back there. There's like mannequin parts here. I mean, I think that the music box is like a reminder of where she came from. And where she eventually decides to go back to. I think that's one of the things that's fun about this series is that they don't, like, paint dramatic black and white lines for the story. They leave a lot of gray and they leave a lot of things for the player to fill in and decide for themselves.
Trashed Panda said. Hello, Zebra.
Hi, Panda. How you doing tonight? I love when he, like, falls off that. He just bites the dust. That would be how I would land. I mean. I think I just bounced off its head. It's fine.
Trashed Panda said. Today's my day off.
Nice.
Trashed Panda said. Which is always nice.
Yeah, days off are always amazing. So I don't know if you guys have seen it, but the DLC to this game is the Gnome's Attic. Oh. And it gives you this little guy you can follow and a little bit of extra content. You kind of gotta like chase him around for a little bit. As he's just like, I don't wanna. And then eventually, he just... And it's so hard to see. You just gotta sort of... muck about in the dark for a little bit.
Danger Edits said, "Hi.
Hello there, Danger. How you doing? Okay, then he opens up this. Yeah. Now we got the light. Now we can see.
Lobo said, I love the teacher in this game, she's so nice.
Oh yeah, she's super nice. She's the best teacher ever.
Danger Edits said, I'm good, I love this game too, my PFP is Mono, the main character.
Yep.
Trashed Panda said,
And they would be up here.
are you
that
going
there's,
to
like,
try
a hat.
MW3, which is now available for beta on PlayStation?
I will be getting 3 at some point, but I don't have the PlayStation, so I will be waiting until it comes to the computer.
Trashed Panda said, BTW, this is a question for all. Maria Agapiou said, IO.
I'm like super excited. I was like most of the way through this one when they announced the third one, and I was just like, yes! So that's the attic. Get like a hat up there, I think. It was a hat.
Maria Agapiou said, I spoiled the ending for me and searched a bit more on the lore but did not watch the game from scratch. Trashed Panda
No, we gotta
said,
push this first.
it comes for beta on PC on the 9th or 12th.
Yeah, I will definitely be playing it at some point, but... probably not while it's in beta. Okay, let's sneak past this guy. Come on, buddy. Ah, shit. Didn't quite get there.
Lobo said, does Chainsaw Massacre.
Right?
Trashed Panda said, no, beta is always a good way for people to not want to play cause they don't realize it's in beta. Lobo said, with a gun.
Okay. Okay, we got it.
Lobo said, 121st.
What's 121st? do this. Nothing to see here, sir.
Trashed Panda said, Lobo, is YouTube just your hangout place or something? Lobo said, Death counter. Lobo said, yeah.
I've just had one so far. Don't worry, there'll be plenty of them. Hey, let's get out of here. Come on, come on, come on. Let's go, let's go. We're moles, it's safe in here.
Adso said, hi, everyone.
Hi, Ads.
Trashed Panda said, hello, Adso. Lobo said, H. Lobo said, I.
Go, Carl, go! You know, because it's Carl.
Hey!
And
Trashed
it
Panda
begins. The
said,
trust.
J. Trashed Panda said, K. Lobo said, Carl is crazy.
Carl's really crazy.
Trashed Panda said, L. Trashed Panda said, M. Maria Agapiou said, this makes me said low-key angry.
Yeah, it's always interesting how much it changes your perspective of events when you already have played it through and you like know how it is. Like, you know how everything plays out, and then you play through it again, it has a completely different perspective on it.
Trashed Panda said, Maria Agapiou. Trashed Panda said, Lobo said, GN. Lobo said, typo.
Nothing to see here, sir. Nothing to see. No, don't push me, Carl. What are you doing? You're fucking crazy. Hey, I was in the water. What are you doing? How are you supposed to know I'm there? Man, don't let Carl be behind you. It's all like pushy and shit, and then you're like out there and dying, and they just don't be caring.
Lobo said, I meant to say NGL, the ending had me crying.
Yeah, the ending is like, oh my gosh. It's so intense. I find like the whole game is just, like the whole game series is just so well put together, and it's such a
Trash
masterpiece of
Panda
storytelling.
said, "In a insane world it is the sane that is crazy."
Sanity is always about perspective. Well, come on. Fall over, tree. Let's go. It's fine. I'll just bob up and let it shoot us in the head. It's great. I always thought they had really interesting and dynamic fights for their bosses. I mean, it's definitely not your traditional boss stuff. Ah, shit, I wasn't behind enough the box. It's fine. It's totally fine. What? Come on, that's so rude. Don't be shooting me. Oh my god, guys.
Lobo said, "Pop, pop, pop, let's watch Zebra Pig die."
Right? Like, on repeat, nonetheless. Okay. Because you can't sneak past these birds.
Maria Agapiu
In the house, in the house, in
said,
the house!
"Poor mono."
Yeah, there's gonna be many monos. And many deaths of mono. I mean, if I use 100 mono clones to get through the game, is he really mono anymore? So, you know, that happened. My corn's like all tangled up on everything. It's fine. Okay, we're gonna go to our magical boat ride.
Maria Agapiu said, "Oh bless."
I think that throughout the whole series, there's a lot of theme building, and I really like that. I like how they really build on the theme of like hunger or consumption,
Trash
and the
Panda
theme of like isolation.
said.
And they just carry that through, like, the whole story. Like, right from the beginning of the game, you know, into the DLC and into the second one. And they just kind of build on that. And it just becomes this really interesting, like, social analysis of our modern world without ever really talking about the modern world.
Maria Agapiou said. That is a really interesting take. Maria Agapiou said. Could you please elaborate?
Well, if you look at like a lot of the characters, like if you look at
Maria
especially the
Agapiou
bad guys.
said. How would you say this game represents the modern world?
Well, I think it's more like how we consume. I mean, if you look at, let's look at the symbolism in the world. Like, there's a lot of suggestion that this is Japanese flavor. So you see a lot of characters, signs, like on the signs, there's a lot of writing that is Japanese-esque. It has that flavor of Japanese, like, writing. If you look at the signs throughout the Pale City. And if you look at the architecture of like the roofs and the buildings, but especially the roofs, it's very akin to like the Japanese architecture. And they have this whole ongoing like discussion about how society has consumed us as people to the point that we have become so isolated that they're and empty, that we're hollow, and that we have like nothing inside of us, and that we have to like consume to fill us. And there's like a whole Japanese word for this, and I could probably like write an essay on it. It's crazy. But so if you look at like all the bad guy characters in these games, they're all like all the bosses that you fight, their themes are all consumption. Like you have the hunter. He is gathering up all of these little critters out in the woods, gathering children, and he's presumably taxidermying them, like because he's like ripping off their skin, and there's all these like, you know, critter bits all around, right? And then you've got like the teacher who has collected these children and she's hollowed them out. Like all of them are like dolls, and they have all they're empty inside, right? Like, but they're her collection. She owns them, she keeps them. And you've got the hospital, you know, the doctor in the hospital, and he's collecting patients, and he keeps them like a collection, all the little mannequin patients. You know, you've got like even in characters in the beginning, you know, in the first game, you've got, you know, the you know, Dark Lady, she definitely was consuming. And you've got all of the people coming to the maw who are just like eating everything in sight, right? So there's all this
City Boy and
consumption.
Country said. Hello Zebra Pig.
Hello, City Boy, how you doing? And like despite all of this like consuming and taking and eating and like just devouring of everything around them, like nobody feels satisfied. Nobody ever seems to have any human connection. Like, you never see a moment in this game, any of these games, where there seems to be any real human relationships. Like, the viewers are consuming the TV
City Boy and Country
and being consumed
said,
by it while they're just
good.
not having any relationships. Glad to hear that you're doing well.
City Boy and Country said. You?
I'm doing pretty good today. I mean, and you even look at, like, Mono, right? Like, so he desperately clings on to Six in hopes of creating this relationship, of, like, having this human connection. And he struggles to keep her, right? He, like, struggles to possess her. And in the end, she discards him and chooses not to be kept. Right? Like, so he ends up being amongst the discarded and amongst the, like, thrown away, and becomes the, like, epiphany, really, the epitome, I mean, of the isolated and the alone. And in a lot of ways, we kind of expect that, given that his name is Mono, which means the one, the only, the isolated, right? And it's like, no matter how much they consume, they can never fill that emptiness. And I think that there's also some interesting, like, when they did some, if you look at the concept art, there's some really interesting things there to see. that's suggestive that the people from the Pale City were used to make the All-Seeing Eye bigger and stronger. And that's where that big meat lump came from. Yeah, it's just a bunch of consumption. Which, of course, is what capitalism is all about, right? Like, we just keep doing all of this consuming. We just keep taking in and taking in. And worldwide, the depression rates, the...
Maria Agapiou,
you know, suicide
said,
rates just keep going up.
Mono in Greek means alone as well, so you are right.
Oh, yeah, definitely. His name is the prefix for, like, single, isolatory, alone, solo, yeah. They definitely, like, named him, you know, specifically about... And then you see him at the end, right? Like, he's alone by name, and then at the end, he's sitting alone in his chair as he becomes the new...
Trashed Panda,
Slim Man, or
said,
Slender Man, or...
Thou shalt not
guy.
consume the trousers of thy neighbor.
Right? So I think it's like some pretty interesting layers of like what happens when society, you know, takes too much from itself and uses people like commodity instead of maintaining its humanity. Like when capitalism goes too far, it begins to
Trashed Panda,
use
said,
humans like all
Why are you
others.
saying right are you doing this, zebra?
I guess I'm not sure what you're asking, Panda. Run! The first time I came into this particular part of the game, it took me forever to figure out, like, what I was supposed to do. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Maria Agapiou, said, I love hearing your interpretation of this. It makes the game even more interesting.
I'm just an English nerd who looks for metaphors and everything. And all the little tiny spaces. Ugh. I would hate crawling through these spaces. Ugh. Spaces like that would make me feel trapped and icky.
Trashed Panda, said, likewise.
Like, I don't know that I'm particularly would classify as being claustrophobic. Because I can be in, like, an MRI machine and it's fine. Or a CT scan and it's fine.
Maria Agapiou,
But,
said,
I don't know.
I would really appreciate more commentary as the explanations you provided earlier while you play this game. I hope the other viewers enjoy them as much as I do. Smiley face.
Well, I'm glad my random rambling isn't boring. Sometimes I worry that I just, like, go off on these, like, random tangents and then, you know, it's fine.
Lobo, said, Bubble Bubble Guppium.
Like, I just find... Oh, shit. I ran right into that one! Like, I find it interesting that they chose to make the children dolls. Like, they're toys. to be used, to be played with, to be broken,
Lobo
to be discarded as
said,
the owner sees fit.
Bubble guppies.
And that, like dolls, they're hollow and they're empty and they're not being given any real, like, personality or brain
said,
or...
5.
or anything of real substance. They're just being molded to become the next set of viewers, right? Like, who are gonna just consume the content like their parents. Without question. Just... I mean, not that that's who we know you are yet, but... like, take her up. Jerk! I was so mad when I first played this, and they took 6. I was so mad. Oh, crap. Because I had, like, worked so hard to, like, keep her safe, and I was so invested in her being safe, and then all of a sudden, they're, like, just... taken off with her. Oh, I was so mad. So mad. I was just like, you're kidnapping my friend! And I wasn't confident that she was gonna be okay.
Lobo said, 6.
An achievement to get the bullies to follow you into this room and squish them. Man, that was so hard. Because you gotta get all of them to, like, get hit by the bookshelf or they end up, like, wrecking you. Nothing to see here, Teach. That was just a faulty shelf. I got all the achievements in this one. In the first one, I don't have the fucking hardcore run. It's not happening. There's no way that I'm playing through that game and not dying and not restarting any levels and stuff. Nope. I just don't think I got the skills. Wait, how did you see me?
Said,
I wasn't doing
could
anything.
we think of the main characters as children or adults IRL that don't want to fall victims of this society that ultimately leads in a hollow character and a lifestyle that feels like a nightmare?
I mean, we can definitely see that there used to be a thriving city here, right? Like, we have evidence of a full city. Like, there's businesses and a school, a hospital. It looks like at one point this was a thriving city. And in theory, the all-seeing eye corrupts the signal tower and starts sending out the signal and begins to corrupt and destroying the adults and pulling them in. But the children are immune, right? The children aren't, like, watching the TV. They're not getting drawn in. And then some of the adults don't seem to be drawn into the signal either, right? They don't seem to be. So it's almost like the viewers would have to have taken care of the ones that weren't pulled into the television. And those are what all of the empty clothes are about. Oh, I think I did it too soon. Grab, 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 grab. God, yep. I have such a hard time sneaking around her.
Maria Agapiou said, "What do you think the television represents?"
I mean, I think that it's just another form of consumption, right? It's the way that society feeds us. You know, bullshit, basically. How we get social media or computer programs or whatever, right? We just crap.
Lobo said, "NGL, every single time Maria talks you go on this ramble about this game, changing my whole entire perspective of this game."
It's this idea. Sorry? You're welcome? I don't know, maybe? Ah! Get out of here, kids! Oh! I almost
Trash
did
Panda
not do that right.
said, "How society is controlled by the things we see online."
I mean, and not just what we see online, but by our desires, by the things that we're consuming. It's that hollowness inside of us and the need to feel connected that drives this unending hunger that wherever it is that we find it, whether it's from the television or from our taxidermy or from the food that we eat that
Maria
we see
Agapiou
on the maw,
said,
we
"I'm
become
sorry,
addicted
guys.
and
Sad
lost
face."
in it. You know, it's like we become a prisoner to that desire. Oh, I don't think that they were complaining. Ah, crap. You gotta time that right so you can, like, grab the pipe while he's choked out. There we go.
Lobo said,
God damn it.
"Hey,
Nothing here! Nothing here, ma'am! Did she seriously not come up? I've never had her not come up. How did that work out? Normally, as soon as you land, because you break the jar, you attract her attention. And she does that! Creepiness!
Trashed Panda said, yes, and how when we see something or someone who has something better than us, all of a sudden we feel so bad about ourselves, and if you hadn't seen it you would have went on with your day. Trashed Panda
Yeah,
said,
definitely comparisons.
it just shows us that we all are thinking about what others think and we shouldn't.
I mean, I think that's definitely true. I think that when we compare ourselves to other people, we're comparing ourselves to a lie. Especially in the context of social media, right? Because people put themselves out there with their best foot forward, right? You don't put, like, the things you don't like about yourselves. You don't put your insecurities. You put the things that you're good about at. You put your happy moments. We always curate our experiences. So when we're comparing ourselves to other people, we're not comparing ourselves to a real person. We're comparing ourselves to a mirror. It's like looking at a photoshopped model and not feeling like you're pretty enough. I mean, of course we're not going to be able to meet that ideal, right? It's not even a real human. Nothing to see here, ma'am. Just go about your day. Seriously, just carry on.
Lobo said, this game is so life-changing, but when you talk I'm so enlightened because you're so well-knowledged.
Well, I'm glad that you enjoy it. I just think that I'm an English nerd. I really like symbolism and metaphors and the way that you build stories through context, to discuss things without talking about them, you know, like with symbolism. And I really, really, really like stories. And I think that's a big part of why I got into playing video games. Because they're like the stories that you can like engage with, right? You can like, yeah, I'm the main character, and you can make the decisions yourself and die a lot. Because I do that all the time. Definitely die a lot. I keep telling myself that one of these days I will be like the most epicest of video game players. But probably not. I think this one goes here. I don't remember. I guess I gotta look at the picture. No, I didn't put him in the right place. King goes here.
Trashed Panda said, the things that we see throughout the day may make you feel worthless, but it doesn't mean anything. But I do understand why you would feel bad. Trashed Panda said, you might be like I am not worth anything cause they are better. Maria Agapiou said, I like hearing these symbolisms out loud, as sometimes, like with this game, they represent facts that I could not bear thinking myself.
I think that's one of the things that I really like about this game, is that it really explores a lot of the darker aspects of humanity, but in a way without being really grotesque and without being really heavy-handed.
Trashed Panda
I thought
said,
I had to climb up with this.
also I am not saying you in general. Trashed Panda said, LOL.
You would think as many times as I've done this now, this being like the third or fourth, that I would remember it, but I still gotta like fumble around with it every time. It's got the gist, but not really know how to do it. And the peeing dog, it's like, alright. He's taking a piss. Okay. Thanks for that. I mean, and again, you know, you've got, like, this symbolism here, like, he's a piece, he's a pawn, he's a, you know, he's got a crown, but he's just a toy, a thing to be used. And I feel like the children are frequently in the school symbolized as being things that can be broken, that can be discarded, that can be just used how they need to be used for the sake of what the adults need.
Maria Agapiou said, "You were saying something about not being grotesque but didn't finish your train of thought."
No, that happens all the time. Sorry. I think that a lot of games that try to explore the darker aspects of humanity immediately go to like blood and gore and really get heavy-handed and really gross about it, you know, which, you know, is fun. It can be great. I mean, that's what Scorn did, right? Like, Scorn really went all in with the commitment to the body horror. But I feel like this explores a lot of the same things and the same themes and that same darkness of humanity without needing to rely on the really gratuitous, gory, dark imagery. I mean, you never see blood in this game. But yet, there's a lot of discussion about death and dying and loss and betrayal. But you never really see actual, like, body horror the way that you do in, like, a zombie game. Ah, please stop pushing me. You get pushed around too much and they knock your head off. Oh, come on! Children! Stop being so damn rowdy! And this one, if you're too fast, he'll knock this right on your head. That happened to me once. And then your noggin breaks. I mean, the children are just very feral. They don't know what, like, human decency looks like. They don't know what compassion looks like. And they're in the one place in the whole game that has the opportunity for human connection, right? Because there's a whole bunch of them that are all together. They could make friendships. But instead, there's this environment seemingly intentionally set up so that they're not going to connect together, so that they'll have that void, so that they'll want to continue this cycle of consuming and seeking
Lobo
and being hungry.
said, "It's like when you see someone be so high in life but you will just think it's all good, but it's not. That's what I feel, cause I grew up around that."
Yeah, nobody's life is perfect, that's for sure. Suffering is part of the human condition. It's a requirement. And it's super relative and it's completely immeasurable. Nothing to see here, man. Please go about your experiments with your bugs. Nothing here. It's totally fine. Go about your day, ma'am. You don't gotta be so grabby.
Maria Agapiou said, "Could you please elaborate on how suffering is a human condition and a requirement?"
So anytime you want something, you put yourself up for the possibility of disappointment, right? Like, so you have, everybody has desires. Ah, shit. I'm not here, I'm not here, I'm not here! So humanity comes with desire. Whether it's for food, whether it's for a hug, whether it's to go to Disney, it doesn't matter, right? We want things. And when we don't get the things that we want, which is an inevitability, there are going to be times that we don't get to have whatever it is that we're looking for. We have disappointment, and those disappointments are in direct proportion to how much we wanted the thing and how much we were emotionally invested in it. So if it was something that we cared about a little bit, right, we're gonna care some, it'll be like disappointment. But if it was something that we worked really hard for, and say you imagine you went to school for like 6 years to become some, you know, profession, and then you failed the qualifying exam, like that would be crushing, right? Compared to you hoped you could get a particular type of pizza and they were out of stock and you had to get a different one. Like, different levels of investment emotionally lead to different degrees of emotional injury. But that emotional disappointment, that suffering that comes from not getting the things that we want is an inevitability, because we can't always get what we want. So suffering is just part of being human. We can't avoid that. There's no way to live our lives without sadness and without feeling regrets and without feeling losses. It will vary from person to person what that looks like, but we'll all have them. You just stay over there, lady. Keep writing on your board. No, go away. Ah, shit. I suck at this room. I can never time it well. I don't know where she's putting those organs in there. They just sort of get, like, sucked in between the others that are already there. It's like, it's fine. She's just feeding her thing. Her thing is eating the real organs. I'm not here.
Trashed Panda said, I think it's great that Zebra can just talk about this stuff.
I think it's too many years of English classes and philosophy classes. In another life, long, long ago. I almost had an English degree. Didn't work out, but... Still absolutely love it, though. And is one of my never-ending hobbies.
Trashed Panda said, Phil lost his feet.
Phil lost his feet. They're gone. Look, one's right here, though. We found one! There's Phil's foot! It's his left one, incidentally.
Maria Agapiou said, I think it's great to be able and verbally express such intellectual thoughts. It's good for the soul. Lobo said, you should work as a storyteller FR.
Well, I do enjoy writing. I don't know that it's something that I will ever make money at, but, you know, it is one of my hobbies. And I'm apparently just gonna do never-ending laps on this lab table with this creepy-ass teacher here. Ah, crap! Here we go again, guys! Look, lady, you don't need to be turning your head around. That's creepy. Ain't nobody liking that when you have your head on backwards. Oh shit, I got to looking at her and like walked myself off the edge. No, 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 don't eat me! Ah! Oh, what? Seriously? No! I'm not here!
Lobo said, how would you compare the DLC to real life?
How would I compare the DLC to real life? I mean, I just think that the whole game is on that same metaphor arc where they talk about consumption and the way that it leads to isolation. I mean, even if you look at the way I don't know, the little Nomi guy. We'll call him Nomi. I mean, even if you look at the way that he moves through the game, and you have like the hag that he faces and how
Trashed
she's
Panda
chasing him and she
said,
wants to eat him.
At which hour thee playeth little nightmares, it allows us to engulf into a conversation of most wondrous importance.
It's something. just ramblings of the pig. Welcome to the ramblings of the pig. But I think that it's also interesting how the game shows a lot of trust and betrayal. Because you have the gnomes who were helping Six. And throughout the game, if you're working on the achievement, you're trying to find them and you end up like hugging them. And through that, you gain their trust. And they end up helping her and feeding her, right? Only for her to, like, betray them.
Trashed Panda said, "Do you have the zebra pig hoodie as merch?"
Do I have a zebra pig hoodie? No. We do not have a whole lot of merch, but you can look down in the About page. There is a link to the store. We've got some, like, stickers that you can get. A coffee cup. Here. Wait, I don't know if you can see it. You can get a coffee cup. Ta-da, ta-da. Or, like, a notebook with our logo on it. Ah, shit. I forgot about the bucket. Walked my ass right into that death trap. Hey! Anybody else run out? Don't be trapping the hammer.
Trashed
buddy.
Panda said, "LOL." Trashed Panda said, "Bucket."
The bucket.
Maria Agapiou said, "Would the cup arrive in the UK?" Lobo said,
I am pretty.
13.
Oh shit! I'm pretty sure that you can order it from anywhere. It's Redbubble. Is where you can purchase the items from. You can get like T-shirts and cups, and right now all we have is the logo. So you can get little Buddha, the little piggy with the zebra hoodie on. Buy different items. Ah shit! I missed him! I missed
Lobo
him completely!
said, 14.
Is that how many deaths I'm up to now? It doesn't take me long to add them up in this game. This is why I said I am never getting the hardcore achievement in the first
Trashed
one.
Panda said, "To bait or not to bait?"
Ah shit! I missed him completely again!
Trashed Panda said, "You should do stickers too."
I think that you can get one type of sticker. I am talking with Siri Salt. We are definitely talking about doing other merch items. We haven't, like, nailed down anything in particular yet.
Trashed Panda said, 15.
I think that having an actual Buddha
Trashed
plushie
Panda
would be amazing.
said, "Beat you, Lobo." Trashed Panda said,
Oh wait, I think I still...
"Grown-ass man acting like a child again."
Meh. I think that, you know, those rules between what adults can do and children can do is kind of weird and arbitrary. Oh, I'm so sorry, Six. You, like,
Lobo
free her and she, like,
said,
bonks on her head.
"GRRRRR,
Oh,
that's
that
my job."
hurt. I have, like, way too many. It doesn't take me very long to add them up. You okay?
Toad said, "Hello."
Hello, Toad. How you doing? All right, come on, Six. Come on, buddy. Let's get out of here.
Trashed Panda said, "I will return to my loan shark and mob with the cakes, sorry Lobo."
How you doing tonight, Toad? Panda, the cake loan shark. Boom, boom, boom. And it's the music achievements that tell you what their names are, because it's Six's song and Mono's music, I think, are the names of the achievements.
Lobo said, "It's okay." Trashed Panda said, "Redeemed first."
Oh yes, the secret redeems. They are the first to have reciprocate Zed and Otis. They are grateful for your offering. They should eat it with relish. Oh, you know, for you guys who are wondering, this is Otis. Hello, worship me. Ed. This is Zed. Oh, hi guys. They don't say us hi as often on YouTube as they do on Twitch, because we don't have redeems over here.
Trashed Panda said, "Relish, mustard, and ketchup on a bun." Lobo said, "Hi Zed." Trashed Panda said, "Oh, we got a free Zed and Otis redeem."
You did. I mean, that's the only way they happen over here. Every now and then I'm like, we should have a mascot moment. Oh, I got too far ahead of Six.
Trashed Panda said,
regression.
"Adso says hi then leaves." Lobo said,
"She's often does
17.
Work and lurk."
Lobo said, "Number 16.
Come on, Six. Let's do this. We got this. Come on. Yeah.
Maria Agapiou
More
said,
spaces.
"Would you say Six just showed her true colors by how she blushed the head of that empty child?" Lobo said, "W music."
I mean, I think that Six has always been a survivor. And that she's always done what she needed to do to live. I don't personally think that makes her the bad guy, even though she's done some really bad things over the course of the series. But she's definitely the betrayer, and she's definitely one who the end justifies the means. And that the relationships aren't sacred to her. She's definitely part of the consuming culture. She's got no qualms about using people to accomplish what she needs to accomplish, which is to stay alive. Like, if you think about it in terms of, like, D&D morality scales, she's neutral, like, kind of evil. She's very self-focused. She's not particularly for or against the law. It's just about what's good for keeping her alive. What's going to keep her safe. And she's just going to do whatever that takes. And if that means eating a gnome, well, eat a gnome. And if that means bashing the kid's head in, like she just did, then that's what happens. I am not one who believes that the ends justify the means, but 6 definitely is.
Adso said, I didn't leave at Trash Panda 72. I'm still on shift lol. So just lurking. Also I feel really tired today, so I want to finish this already and take a nap cause gotta go to a play at night. Straight face.
Yeah, she's working lurking. Oh crap, get in the hole!
Lobo said, let's NT forget about the witch she killed and ate.
Jump of faith. Let's not forget about the witch she killed and ate. Yeah, right? Exactly. Like, she just doesn't have any qualms about doing whatever. Like, they're... So, I'm not sure that she's a bad guy, because I feel like she's definitely a product of the world that she was raised in. I mean, they...
Adso said, I went to the movies last night, and got back home a bit late, so sleepy today hee.
Yeah, I feel that. You know, there's only so many spoons and only so much time to sleep. I mean, if you look at how these kids are living, and they're feral, right? They're just kind of left to their own devices. They're left to protect themselves. There's nobody making sure they're okay. There's nobody making sure that they have their emotional needs met. There's nobody teaching them any kind of morality. So I think it makes perfect sense
Maria
that
Agapio
somebody raised this way
said,
wouldn't have any
so is
conscience.
betrayal towards Mono justifiable to survive? If it's not a bad way of thinking, should everyone live like this?
I think that things like good and evil are on a spectrum and are on a context. And I think that it's really easy to forget that evil and darkness is created. So, Six unto herself isn't an evil thing. Like, she isn't like a monster, but she goes through a lot of trauma. She sees a lot of terrible things. She's beaten up, she's starved, she's emotionally damaged, and she becomes a monster.
Said,
but she isn't
I'd
inherently
like to know where the
evil.
kids come from.
I don't think that the game makes it center stage, but it is suggested, like, based on everything else that's put here, that all of the carnal pleasures are the things that people lose themselves in. So sex and sexuality wouldn't be any different, right? They lose themselves in food and in all of the other things of modern life, like social media, that we lose ourselves in now. I don't know why adult fun time would be exempt from this list. I just don't think that it would be coupled with
Lobo
meaningful
said,
relationships either.
I feel like Six is not evil, I think she is just very broken.
Exactly, that's what I mean. It's like, I think that it speaks to the way that bad things happen in real life, and the way that people justify and end up doing bad things, and the cycle of violence works in real life. You have people
Maria
who are
Agapiou
hurt, who hurt other
said,
people.
100% I agree that external factors affect who we are. It is interesting how Mono undergoing through the similar external factors and yet chooses to be supportive and sadly fall to his demise.
But in the end, he also becomes a monster. Suggesting that without human connection, none of us can be human. That without each other, without community,
Adso
we're
said,
all empty.
But in Little Nightmares they have them in cages and have their own classrooms and stuff. But then, they eat them.
In the maw, yeah. On the boat, in the first game, yep. Yeah, the children are part of the consumable goods. I mean, it's definitely something to be said how the people in this world are just another consumable item. And then you look at how the people have come to this hospital in an effort to restore the humanity that they've lost, and they've come to this doctor and asked him to basically, like, cosmetically restore their humanity and basically make them into these mannequin monsters. I mean, and the doctor's trying to help them, but he's not really doing anything that's good at the same time. And yet he's the one boss that you can choose to spare. You don't have to kill the doctor. And I think that's because he's also the one boss who is motivated by compassion, even though he's still doing pretty dark things. Like, he's motivated by the desire of restoring people's sense of self, even though he's not really doing it in a way that's good. Like, he is a monster, but he's got compassion, and you can see that when he responds to the alarms. I mean, he attends to all of his patients. I think the hospital, to me, is the most telling and interesting part of this setting. And I feel like the cabin portion of Little Nightmares 2 is the part of the game that I'm not really sure how that setting fits in and why they chose the cabins specifically. It feels a little disjointed from the rest of the settings. Which makes me wonder, like, why there? And it kind of suggests that, like, he wanted to tell you something in the nature of it, like, by pulling you out of the city. And the only kind of thing that I can think of is that to show you that it's not just the city that fell, that it wasn't just that place, that it's like all of it, like all of humanity has fallen. Because now we've seen the Pale City, we've seen the like, I don't know, water area, lake, I guess, and the
Lobo
Hunter's
said,
Lodge, all
I
in
feel like
Clear
Mono was very
Apocalypse.
hurt when he was betrayed, which broke his faiths.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that his betrayal, that Six's betrayal, is
Lobo
what led to him being a
said,
monster.
Inhumanity.
Absolutely. I think that's why he fell. Like, not... I mean, well, yeah, literally and metaphorically. I think that Six letting him go was why he fell. But I think that's how it works in real life. Trauma creates a callousness and a hollow spot inside of you that allows you the possibility of hurting others. When you've been hurt, you are more likely to hurt other people. That's a statistical reality. There's these things called an ACE score. And the higher your
Maria
ACE
Agapio
score, the more likely
said,
you are to
if we
be a
excuse the
victimizer.
actions of 6 for the means of survival, then the existence of people being self-driven in the expense of others should be justifiable as well.
So understanding why someone does something and understanding the cause of a motive is not the same as saying that the action is acceptable. So understanding that violence is what causes violence isn't the same as saying that if you were the victim of violence, it is okay for you to choose violence. Those are two separate statements. And they're two distinctly, there's a distinct important difference between those statements. Because when we recognize where violence is born, we then have the opportunity of breaking and changing its origin. Like when we recognize that trauma in childhood is the #1 cause of the creation of victimizers, we have the opportunity to change humanity's course. It doesn't mean that we just look at people and say, well, you were hurt. All right, that means you can keep hurting people. But it does mean that if we recognize that's where victimizers come from, then it means that our priority should be, if we want society to be better, should be on protecting and lifting up our children. Because if we can protect our children and keep them from having these trauma experiences, there will be fewer victimizers in the future, which means that each generation could get better, as long as we continue to focus on protecting the children and keeping their childhood safe and well guarded from the trauma experiences. So it's more about understanding how things come to be rather than saying that means that you are free of responsibility. But it's important to recognize that it's not just about an individual's choice. It's about the choices that societies make, right? Like the choices that I make when I raise my kid affects the choices that that kid will make. And we
Lobo
shape a whole world that
said,
way.
How did 6 fall?
So we see the beginning. She's isolated and trapped by the beginning of this game. She's isolated alone and she's been captured by... Oops, I just walked by where I need to go. We don't know the circumstances of how it came to be, but she was isolated, trapped, and alone in the Hunter's Lodge. So she's got a trauma there. And there's a suggestion that she was with other children who died, given the drawings on the wall behind her. And given that you find the television children, the after images, like you find one in the outhouse there. So it suggests that there was another child that was with her that died. So that's like one of her traumas. And then she comes into the school and she's kidnapped, beaten, and kind of tormented by these children, which is when you start to see a shift, because now she's becoming aggressive and she's willing to fight back and she's willing to hurt other people. Like there's a change. Like before she's in the school, she's running and hiding, but then after the school, she's willing to kind of fight back. And then you see like the way that she responds to when the doctor is trapped in the furnace. She's like reveling in it. And then I think the final moment of her fall is when she is taken into the signal tower and she's completely distorted by the all-seeing eye. And that damages her past her ability to come back. And when she leaves there, that's when she abandons Mono. And I think that that's also, like, her moment of falling. Like, when she lets go Mono, I think that they both fall together, metaphorically speaking. Because that's her recognizing that she can't have him. Like, she's too damaged. She can't connect with him. That they'll never be able to be normal, happy, in a normal, happy relationship because they're broken. Their experiences have marked them and damaged them beyond, you know, repair.
Lobo said, "So 6 is the most broken."
In my opinion,
Trashed
absolutely.
Panda said, "Yes, 6 is broken."
I think 6 has been the most damaged throughout, for sure. And I think that it's demonstrated by her willingness to just absolutely destroy other people that you just don't see in any of the other children. Like, Mono never harms. You never see Mono, even after the conclusion of everything. Like, he never harms other children. Other than the doll children, which are, it's arguable, aren't real children. That they're monstrosities. Ooh, I got face hugged! That they're monstrosities at that point already. And then the gnome boy definitely never hurt any other children. But, like, 6, she, well, ate a gnome and dropped Mono. I mean, so she went to, like, she took actions that were more extreme than the other children. At least I think they were. I mean, and all this is just my opinion. There's like, no, like, game fact here. It's just my musings on the game after having played a lot of hours between the 2 and the DLC. Ah, crap! And then probably sitting and musing about it way more than, I don't know, is probably reasonable. I overanalyze everything in life. It's fine. What do you do for a hobby? I think about stuff. What stuff? All the things. Oh man, these hands! Eh! These hands are so creepy! My favorite achievement in this game is that you get an achievement if you, like, hit the hand a bunch of times after it's dead.
Trashed Panda said, "Zebrap4 excited." Lobo said, "Wednesday no little nightmares."
Excited, right? Oh, come on, Vox. I know you move. Okay, come on, seriously? Go through the hole! Even in games, I'm uncoordinated. It's fine! And then she's just sitting there, mucking about with that arm. I mean, it's kind of creepy, guys. Like, 6 is creepy. Like, ever since coming out of the...
Trashed Panda
the school
said,
and donning
"You really need to get
the
emojis on
raincoat.
YT."
Yeah, I haven't reached the level that they'll let me have them yet. You have to have enough watch hours, so I have to have, I think, 3,000? I won't swear to that. But you have to have enough watch hours, basically, and I'm not there yet. I mean, geez, Series Folk has made us all kinds of cool emotes, so it's not like we couldn't have emotes here. It's just a matter of YouTube giving us the green light to load them up and use them. And, well, watch hours. It all comes down to watch hours. The almighty watch hour. Okay, come on, bugger. Let's go.
Trashed Panda said, getting ever so closer to the silver play button.
Silver play button. I don't even know what the silver play button is for.
Maria Agapiou said, I personally feel bad for Mono cause he was also traumatized and yet was compassionate where 6 although out of her control yes broke mentally, she acted in a way which is unforgivable for me.
I do think they did a good job in demonstrating that different people respond to terrible things differently. Like they didn't cookie cutter their characters. And yeah, oh crap. We're in trouble. I sandwiched myself between them. I think that Mono absolutely responded better to his negative experiences. And we don't know the answer to why some people turn to violence and some people don't when they've had the same experiences. We just know that some experiences really increase the odds. So there was this really cool research done back in the 80s, and it led to what we call the ACE score, which is the adverse childhood experience score. And what they look at was the way that having negative childhood experiences affects you over your lifetime.
So how did Mono get there? And what is Mono? He is like 10x smaller than a normal child.
So we don't know. And I don't think that we should know. Like, I don't think the game tries to explain why 6 goes so dark and Mono doesn't. And just like in real life, we don't know. Like, we know after all this research that there are some people who are resilient. That despite having these really, really terrible dark childhood experiences, that they are resilient and they're able to still be compassionate, well-functioning humans and just do well and thrive. And then other people who have traumatic experiences don't. And we don't really understand entirely why. And I think that's true with Mono and 6. Like, we don't know why Mono does better.
21.
But the answer is resilience. We just don't know why some people have it and other people don't. Like, what makes you resilient?
Trashed Panda said, face blue wide eyes, face blue wide eyes, face blue wide eyes, face blue wide eyes, face blue wide eyes. Lobo said, hand orange covering eyes, 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 hand orange covering eyes.
And why are the children smaller in this game than like real children should be? I personally think that it's supposed to augment their meaninglessness, their lack of value, their insignificance. And the perception of how the world looks for children and to adults. Like when you're a kid, everything is huge. He's playing into those ideas.
Trash Panda said, "Stupid TDS."
I just got through that in one go.
Maria Agapiou said, "It baffles me, it honestly does. Because it's frustrating how good people will always try their best for others and yet unfortunately get stuck in a loop of horror and eternal suffering."
Well, I think that some of that is because people in today's culture especially are really crappy at boundaries. So when people tend to be soft-hearted and tend to be more giving, and you don't have good boundaries to go along with that, you put yourself in a position of being a victim. Because you can absolutely be a good person and protect yourself with boundaries from people who would use, abuse, and take advantage of you.
Lobo said, "Body green covering eyes."
Because you can be a good person and still say no and not always give people what they want. But that requires having good boundaries and an understanding that you can't give everybody everything all the time. This room sucks so bad. Don't do it, buddy! Woo! Oh, did I just... Whoa! Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I got through there in one go! Okay, the mannequin rooms are so intense.
Maria
I was
Agapiou
like grabbing at you.
said, "How does one who never learned to set boundaries for self-preservation start doing so now without coming across as disrespectful?" Lobo
Practice.
said, "What happened if Mono would have survived and not been betrayed by Six?"
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what their future would have looked like had she made a different choice. But as far as building boundaries go, it's like anything else. Like, social skills are like any other skill. It's like learning how to draw or ride a bike. Everybody has different degree of starting aptitude, but everybody can get better at it by practicing. So if you don't have good boundaries and you didn't practice them and learn them as a child, you can still do that as an older person, you know, as an adolescent or an adult. So we can still learn those skill sets later in life. I had to do that. I did not learn boundaries until, like, really good boundaries until, I would say, probably somewhere around mid-20s and 30s. And some days I still struggle with that. But I would say that I definitely didn't understand the basic principles of not always saying yes.
Trashed Panda
Until I was, like,
said,
mid-20s, for sure.
"Creature features."
Features! Those are some of the best movies of all time. Like, The Blob. The creature features back from the 60s were the best.
Lobo said. What game after this?
I haven't decided. I mean, which game? I'm assuming you mean which game am I playing on the next YouTube stream? In which case, that's what I answered. I haven't decided. The next game that I'm going to play on stream will be later tonight after this stream at 9:30. I will be streaming on Twitch and I will be playing Minecraft and we're going to be having Chaos Tricks engaged. So we're going to have some shenanigans over there. As part of our
Trash Panda
Oktoberfest.
said. Amnesia has 2 new games BTW.
Oh,
Maria
crap.
Agapiou
Oh, it has
said,
2 new ones?
Do you think in the upcoming Little Games Mono would be saved from the loop? Trashed Panda said. You should 100% do Amnesia.
Amnesia's on my list for sure. So, a lot of people buy into the time loop theory. I don't buy it. I don't think there's a time loop. So I don't think that Mono needs to be saved from a time loop. And I think that if this franchise and this game series is going to play things well, I think that the best
Lobo
choice that they could make
said,
is to not
I may
have
download
these 2
Twitch RQ.
characters in the third game. I think that they should leave these 2 characters out of the third game entirely, personally. Because they've told their story. There's really nothing left to tell. We've seen their full Rise of Monsters arc, right? Like, we've seen them as their fragile, naive child. We've seen them fall, and then we've seen them rise into power and be the destroyer. So we've seen their full monster arc. So there really isn't any story left to tell for Six and Mono, and I think that pulling them into the third game would only be a play on making us want to play the game because these are our familiar loved characters, rather than being true to story. So I would really actually prefer that they
Maria
be done
Agapiou
with these 2 characters and...
So how do you explain Mono fighting Thin Man? Lobo said. Does Twitch have ads?
Yes, Twitch has ads. So how do I explain Thin Man? Alright, so I personally believe that the story of Six and the story of Mono are both a Rise of Monsters story. This is a classic
Panda
story arc in horror.
said. Yes, Amnesia the Bunker is one of the new games.
I think I have that
Trashed
one.
Panda said. Not hers.
So, if you watch a lot of horror movies and you play a lot of horror games and read horror books, a long-standing plot style and plot arc is how a villain came to be the villain, how the monster came to exist, right? And that's called the monster arc, or the rise of the monster. So, I think that Mono and Six, by the end of the stories, their stories are monsters. And that these games are about their rise and how they became monsters. So, one of the tropes in this arc of storytelling is that there can only be so much darkness in the world. And in order for a new darkness to rise, the previous darkness must fall. And it usually means that the upcoming darkness destroys or consumes the previous darkness. So we see that with Six, in that she literally consumes the Dark Lady, takes on her power, ascends, and becomes the new Dark Lady. And she's now the ascendant Dark Lady, and she's fully risen in her power. And then we see that with Mono. So you have the established power, he fights him, he defeats him, and in so he gains the mantle of the darkness, he gets the Thin Man's power. He becomes the new Thin Man, and he ascends to the Thin Man. So you have that full story arc of the rise of Monster, which is like a really brilliantly done story on both parts, by the way. So I don't feel like there's a loop, and I don't feel like it works for the narrative of a time loop, because when does Mono leave? Like, when you have a repeating loop, so you have Mono starting his story, popping out of the TV at the beginning of this game, but when does he leave the signal tower, like, to continue that loop? It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work with the time narratives tropes, and it doesn't work with time theories. So I'm not a big fan of the time loop theory. It's a very popular one, but it's not one that I buy into myself.
Agent said, "Been here in the back just watching, but I think I should go off and get some sleep as it's almost 1 a.m. I look forward to your next stream."
Well, thank you for coming in and hanging out with us, Agent. I hope you get some sleep. And these stupid hands! It is so hard when there's two of them. I hate these hands. They kept on grabbing my face.
Trashed Panda said, growling. Trashed Panda said, "You will miss the Minecraft."
Alright. So it seems like standing in that corner works better, because it gives you more space when the second hand pulls out. Alright. Yeah, I think standing in that corner worked better than, like, anything else I've tried so far, so there's that. And it looks like this is where all of the masks that all of the adults are wearing are made. And given that he's basically making prosthetics to make them feel more human, it doesn't surprise me that it's the doctor that's making these faces. But, like, even all the adults in the mob were wearing these masks. Which kind of suggests that they look like the viewers, that their faces have been distorted. I mean, why else would they feel the need to wear a human mask? And when we see the viewers later, like, they've definitely lost their human visage. They definitely don't look human anymore. And I think that in his effort to, like, oh crap. Oh, I thought he saw me. Oh, he's looking for me, all right. He's just looking in the wrong place. That's fine. And I think that in his effort to restore their humanity, he turned them into monsters, though. Because, man, these mannequins are
Maria
creepy.
Agapiu said, "Hopefully it's not a time loop as you say." I thought it was a loop due to Thin Man and Mono having same power, and people speculating that Six saw Thin Man when he saw Mono's face, hence betraying him.
Well, if you look at the pictures of the Thin Man... Oh, shit. I think he's triggered
Trash
now.
Panda said, Minecraft will be fun to watch. Is it with subs? Cause if so I cannot play cause my computer is being built right now. My old one I opened up and it was a fire hazard. Smiley face.
It was a fire hazard, even. When I'm playing Minecraft, I'll be playing on a small, like, new generated world. And I'll be playing by myself, and I'll be looking for a village to renovate, and then I'll have chaos tricks engaged. So y'all will be able to use zebra cakes to throw stuff at me and cause mischief, or help me if you so desire. This guy makes me think of the roly-poly bugs. Ah, shit! You got me! I've been pushing my luck too much with him. One thing I like about this game is that it doesn't, like, make you do a whole big chunk of the game over again. It's got a good, like, auto-save locations. It's one of the reasons that I don't get frustrated with this game. Because I don't have to do huge
Trash
swaths
Panda
of it over and over again
said,
every time I die.
Adso best be on for this.
Man, please don't pull on his head so hard. It makes me anxious.
Trash Panda said, Adso goddamn cakes.
Yeah, the ads has been Horner cakes, that's for sure.
Adso said, well.
They're coveting your cakes. And your power for mischief! Cake chaos! Wow, this roly-poly doctor! Ah, please stop! I'm really glad this isn't how hospitals really are. I mean, he's definitely really attentive, and he's really, really trying. I mean, it's a lot of effort if you didn't care.
Trashed Panda said, I am going to turn up my autocorrect to max and we will see how that goes.
Your autocorrect? Sir, you need to move on now.
Adso said, I actually thought I was going to be, but I forgot I had this plaything. And I don't think I'm coming back on time for the stream, crying face.
Oh, that's alright. Real life is important. Go have fun.
Trashed Panda said, yes, my autocorrect. Lobo
You can, like,
said,
turn it up and down?
new 600-pound life episodes are crazy.
Right.
Trashed Panda said, r.i.p.r.i.p.r.i.p.
Yes, there's been much of that.
Adso said, I have fun on streams 2-7.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Trashed Panda said,
But real life is
I have a
always
app.
more important as far as I'm concerned. What play are you going to go see? I love plays. I love Shakespeare.
Trashed Panda said, alright, maximum autocorrect is now on. Adso said, streams are real life, unless you're pretend, ladies EP.
You know what I mean, like in-person interactions, the connection of other human beings. Because while I do believe that you can make real and important connections with people online, I also feel that the connections that we make with the people in person have more benefit to us than those that we can make online. And I think some of that is because we need like physical contact between people. I mean, touch starvation is a genuine thing. We need hugs. And we need like pats on the head and boops on the nose and
Trashed Panda said,
ear
little
scritches.
nightmares. Adso said, I think it'd be like a monologue thing. The subject of the play is protest, but I think presented in comedy.
All right. Do you know anyone in the play?
Trashed Panda said, hi, I'm Olaf and I like warm hugs.
You're Olaf. Warm hugs are definitely better than cold hugs.
Lobo said, and zebra cakes. Adso said, and tomorrow I have another play thingy. I think, poster seems like a Day of the Dead thing, you know, the Mexican holiday.
Oh, nice. Oh, come on. Try again. I didn't mean to, like, bungle it. Looks like I tossed you up there once already. So he's like definitely concerned. And he's like trying to help. feel like the doctor is
Adso
driven by genuine
said,
compassion.
I don't know no one in either of the plays, but they both looked interesting.
Hey,
Trashed
that's a
Panda
really good reason to go.
said, Dios muertos? Trashed Panda said, means Day of the Dead BTW.
Alright, we need this. Let's get out of here. Well, he's still attending to that patient. I don't even want to think about what's going on over there. I think I'm giving him a bad day. Alright, this part sucks so bad. Alright, here we go.
Adso said, Dia de Muertos, actually at Trashed Panda 72.
Woo!
Trashed Panda said, whatever.
Ah! Don't grab at me! All the high-intensity chasing scenes! Buddy! Let's go! Grab it! Let's do it! Ah! Sir! See, now, this is where you can choose. You can just walk away, and you can leave him in the furnace trapped. Or you can turn the furnace on. And either way, you can progress in the game. You don't have to end him. All the other bosses, in order to progress in the game, you have to end them. Like, through the whole first and second game, he's the only one that you can choose not to kill. I mean, other than 6. I mean, but I feel like she's an exception, because she's also your friend. So you're kind of biased. There's, like, a little fruit fly in my room here, and he's driving me nutty. And I wish he would, like, bugger off and find somewhere else to hang out.
Maria Agapiu said, I'm glad you don't hurt him.
I feel like he's trying to make the world better. I think that he's misled, and I think that he's misshaped, and that he's distorted and broken like everything else in this world. But yeah, he's the bad guy that I have a hard time seeing as a bad guy. I think that of all of the characters, he's probably the one that still has the best capacity for human connection. Which is exceptionally sad. I mean, but us objectifying
Maria
our
Agapiu
bodies is not really a far
said,
stretch from what we
I
do
wish
in
the
real
ending
life.
would depend on small decisions, mono tales that would affect 6's actions as well.
I mean, you can't have a Rise of Monsters story if she doesn't drop him, though. So, maybe some subtle changes, but I don't think that they can really dramatically shift the end without also dramatically changing the entire overall concept of what the story is about. So all of humanity, for all of documented history, humans have modified their bodies. Like every culture in all of documented history has had some fashion or another modified their bodies. Like we pierce our ears, we get tattoos, we, you know, stretch our necks with hoops, we do all kinds of stuff. Like humans are always modifying our bodies. And as technology changes, we change the way that we're engaging in those modifications. We are doing hip replacements and knee replacements when joints wears out. We're, you know, doing surgeries on our eyes to make it so that we can see better for longer. We're doing organ replacements. So we're constantly modifying our bodies, and we look at our bodies in much the same way that we look at the rest of the world. They're objects, they're tools, they're a means to an end. We don't think of them as something that's sanctified and whole and sacred that needs to be maintained as is. Otherwise, we wouldn't be willing to pierce our ears or, you know, get a knee replacement or any of these other things that we do as a human race. So some of this is the question of how far is reasonable? How far is it reasonable for us to twist, mangle, and morph ourselves? And how far can we modify ourselves without us losing our humanity? Like, they've created this television that's twisting themselves, and it's literally changing their bodies. They're becoming twisted and morphed and mutated, mangled. I mean, you look at the doctor, he looks more like a roly-poly than a human, and the teacher's like all kind of snake and stretchy like. So, and the children have powers. You know, the Mono has the ability to like manipulate the signals, and 6 has this ability to manipulate the shadow. So how far can we manipulate and modify ourselves before we're no longer human? And I think that monster stories are often asking that question, like, what makes us human? How much of what we are born with is required for us to maintain our humanity? So when 6 is in the signal tower and she is beholden to the all-seeing eye, and she's very twisted and mangled and morphed and her body is reshaping, is she still human? And is the fact that it can be undone mean that her humanity is still inside of her? Well, you know, and if it becomes immutable and something that can no longer be restored, does that mean that you've lost your humanity? Like, where are those lines? And monster stories help us explore and ask those questions, and I think that's part of why I like them so much. Like, when 6 drops Mono, is she still human? Or has she lost all capacity for the human emotions that are necessary for humanity? Like compassion and regard, love. Are those feelings necessary for us to be human? Or is having a human shape enough and she's still human? What are the requirements? What makes us us? I guess it really is philosophy night, guys, in my weird ramblings. Sorry! I just got squashed! Hey, you gonna help her push or what there, Mono? Can we get out of here? Hello? He's like, no, you cannot make me push on this door. I'd really like you to push on this door, buddy. I'm like, you can't make me. No, I can't, but I really think it's a good idea. I mean, as in, like, your life depends on it. Not exaggerating right now. He's all like, ha! My flashlight! We are consigned to the darkness. Oh, Six, are you alright? Let me help you out. Poor buddy. Come on. I mean, they definitely have gone through some shit. Popping out of the television at the beginning of the game suggests that he's trying to get away. And his... like, from the signal tower. And his interactions with the television here... I can't decide if this is him kind of being summoned back and him trying to resist, or if this is him feeling the lure. Definitely in favor of the loop argument, and that is that when you look at the pictures of the Thin Man and how he looks as an adult, you know, they look the same. Like, Mono looks like the Thin Man. I mean, that could be just because Mono is like his son, or of that line, or the same race. There's a lot of reasons they could look alike. The other thing that I think goes towards the loop theory, like that people pull for evidence that I think is pretty strong for loop evidence, is that at the end, it does make a point to show you Mono ending where you first see the Thin Man. You know, it does draw this visual of Mono replacing. And when Six takes over her mantle, she doesn't, like, immediately look like the Dark Lady. Like, that doesn't happen. So I will say that that is suggestive. But why would Mono be in a time loop but not Six? And if Six is in a time loop, where does her loop begin and end? Like, I think that the loop doesn't really work like, it doesn't really work as a whole for me on Mono's side, but it really doesn't work for me on yep, on Six's end. But I don't feel like you can have a time loop with one character and not the other. Like, I don't think that works. Not with as enmeshed as their two stories and their two outcomes are. But I'm definitely always open for other people's interpretations and opinions, and because I didn't originally think that this was a prequel. I was definitely in the camp that this was a sequel, and I did change my mind when people presented evidence. Mostly they were like, so, did you see the ending after you collect all of the glitches? And I was like, nope. They're like, yeah, go do that. So the epilogue definitely changed my mind and is what made me agree that this is a prequel to the first.
Maria Agapiou said, apparently according to people, Six is also stuck in a time loop where each lady is bound to be eaten by her UGER self, hence having a picture on the wall with multiple ladies allegedly.
If they're all eaten, why would there be multiple simultaneously to have a photo taken of? That doesn't make sense to me.
Maria Agapiou said, also I don't understand what the glitches are meant to be in the game. Trash Panda
when you
said,
see
I am making ham pizza with zebra fur crust.
So, what I assume, based on when you see Six taken, when she is pulled from... When Six is pulled through the by the Thin Man, when the Thin Man kidnaps her, he leaves a glitch behind. Because she doesn't actually have the ability to go into the signal tower. So he's using her ability, but part of her's left behind. And I personally think that all of the glitches are children that the Thin Man has kidnapped, has taken. And those are the remnants of what he couldn't steal. What couldn't be taken into the tower. Just like with Six, there was part of her left behind. But why is he taking children? And why only children? And where are the other children in the signal tower? So, that's my best
Eric Taylor
theory, but I don't have
said,
a full theory.
Welcome to Zebra Pig's
And it
Little
presents
Nightmares
me-
Theory Crafting Stream.
Theory crafting.
Full screen smiling.
I'm so sorry. But you're right. That is totally what this has turned into. But that one, I don't have a really good full explanation for the glitches. I feel like that's my best theory, but that one's a working theory. And I find it
Trash Panda
satisfying.
said, Cause he is a pardon my language but a pedophile.
I mean, he could be. But is there any evidence of that? I mean, it also could be the same reason that the Dark Lady is eating the children. Like, we see that the children have powers that doesn't seem to be present in adults. So, maybe the children present a threat or a resource, depending upon how you look at it. And I think that the Dark Lady viewed it as a threat and is therefore exterminating the children by consuming them as food so that they can't rise up against her. While maybe the Thin Man is collecting them and maybe hopes to use their power. That's like the best that I have, but when you go to the signal tower, I don't see evidence of other children than 6. But I don't know if that's because that's the only child that Mono is looking for. And he's like manipulating the tower to find her.
Trashed Panda said, The Dark Lady and the Thin Man had the kids, but once they found out they had powers, they decided they were too dangerous for the world, so they decided to destroy them. Adso
Yeah, I feel like they
said,
decided to destroy them
Good
because
night.
of their powers.
Enjoy the rest of the stream.
Good
And
night,
enjoy the
Eds.
chaos later.
Thanks
Bye
for
bye.
coming and joining us. I hope you have fun. Ah! Ah! Sorry, Mono. I just ping-ponged off that edge. Because the adults are all subdued. Like, they're controlled. Like, the Thin Man has been able to use the signal tower to create the adults.
Trashed Panda said, But they are the parents bum bum bum.
And the Dark Lady has been able to control and manipulate the adults through the dining hall. The adults are controlled. It's only children who are resisting them in any kind of fashion, whether effectively or not. So I do think that that some of the component of why it's children that are being eaten and oh shit. I forgot to push the television over. And the children that are being kidnapped is because they represent that power threat.
Trashed Panda said, Dark Lady equals mother, Thin Man equals father.
I mean, possible. We never see any evidence that they interact.
Trashed Panda said, But hey, that's just a theory, a game theory.
Yeah, we're full of all kinds of game theories tonight. It has definitely turned into the like, let's talk about Little Nightmares. Sorry, sir. Terribly sorry.
Trashed Panda said, the lore behind the kids and adults in Little Nightmares. Trashed Panda said, perfect game theory video.
Have you guys seen this package? This amuses me to no end. Okay, I gotta get it picked up again here. It's little details like this in this game that are just great. Excuse me. Are you not, like, taking it because I'm trying to make it work and it's on stream? Or can you only ever do it once? That would be awkward. Do I have to be on the thing? I don't remember. Maybe I have to be on the thing. Nope! That didn't work! Oh, come on. Ah! Come on! Now I'm gonna have to do a, like, little video if I can't get this to happen on stream of when I actually did it getting the achievements.
Trashed Panda said, redeemed random question. Would you rather kill off 6 or mono?
6. Alright, I don't know why it's not
Lobo
taking it.
said, what is the difference between emo and depressed?
A clinical diagnosis for one. Emo is an aesthetic. Depression is a disorder. Alright, I guess I'm just gonna have to do a little short of that so
Trashed
y'all can
Panda
see it, and I'll share it in the
said,
Discord.
emo is a style, being depressed is a state of mind.
Yes. Hello, world. That's apparently not when I needed to do that. I always get the timing of this wrong
Trashed
about
Panda
5 times before I get
said,
it right.
so a grandma tells her kids a joke, she says, knock knock. Trashed Panda said, the kids say who is there. Trashed Panda said, the grandma starts to cry saying she cannot remember the joke.
That happens to me all the time.
Lobo said, ha 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 ha. Trashed Panda said,
I can remember
said
dying
things
there
of
so
life
many
when we
times.
forget things.
The idea of losing my memories is just one of the most terrifying ideas to me. We don't exist without our memories.
Lobo said. That water wasn't safe.
Oh, it's totally fine. Great bath time.
Trashed Panda said. Isn't it weird when you distinctly remember something but no one else does?
Oh, it's totally weird. Or everybody else remembers something and you don't. You're like, really? That happened? Alright, I guess. But nope. You were there! Sure I was. I don't remember it.
Trashed Panda said. Isn't it weird when you distinctly remember something but no one else does?
I just like jumped him right into the wall. We don't need to go to the hole. Nope, that's fine. We'll just face plant directly into the wall. Oh, come on. Grab the thing. Grab the thing! This is another place that now I'm like, oh, this is so easy. But when I first was trying to solve this, man, it took me forever to figure out what I was supposed to do.
Lobo said. What would this world do without Zacchaeus? Trashed Panda
Donuts?
said.
Probably donuts.
We would create zebra cakes. Why? Lobo said. Splish splash, I was taking a Lobo said. Bath.
Now we gotta come back up here. And we gotta turn this back on. So that we can come over here to this television. Into the TV! To teleport us to somewhere! Like, we could be totally across the city, or we could be just in next house over. It's hard to say. Yeah, the viewers definitely don't have faces anymore. Okay, another chase scene. Here we go. Ah, shit, too far. Getting vaporized!
Trashed Panda said. Say can. Trashed Panda said.
Ah, shit!
Now say die. Trashed Panda
Ah!
said. Now put it together.
Come on, little guy, let's go! Let's go! do the TVs break when you pop through? I do really like
Trashed
that
Panda
there's more questions
said,
than answers.
And you have the improper way to say candy.
Six, buddy! Let me get you out of here! Let me get you out! Ah, you asshole! She's my friend! How dare you! We've been robbed, guys! I want you to know that you cannot beat him with the zags. I tried. You swing it at him and he cares not. It was very satisfying to whack him with it a couple times, though. I remembered him looking down. Don't miss me the next one. Ah, shit! Yeah, this is the next one! Well, we're definitely not going to finish this tonight. We're gonna have to finish this game next week, and then we'll start another game. So the games that I own are on my Steam list. Feel free to take a look and make suggestions in my Discord. I have those links all in
Lobo
the description of this
said,
stream.
1.
Otherwise, if no suggestions, I'll just pick something random. And I'd probably pick something horror, just because I love horror, and, well, it's October. It's October! Best time of year! Halloween is coming! Best holiday ever! Love Halloween so much! It's amazing! we're gonna finish up this chapter, and then we will have to wrap up the stream. But we're almost at the end of the Pale City, so we should have enough time to finish the Pale City.
Lobo said, KO.
Yeah, so it seems to me like Six's glitch is more engaged and more involved than the other glitches. Like, it's more powerful, more animated. And I think that's because of who she was, or is. Like, her glitch can do more because she's more.
Lobo said,
Gotta be at least one, right? And this, like, gesture here where he takes his hat off. Where he just, like, yeah, okay, I gotta do it. And then he, like, gives up what had made him him. Like, his personality.
Trashed Panda said, hello, we love new people.
And again, you end up with this weird fight dynamic. And it just looks really cool. Indisputably has taken on his powers. It's like, boom. And we just have the last chapter. Not quite enough time. I died too many times. It slowed us down. Alright. So next time we will finish this one up, and then we will start whatever
Lobo
game we're playing next.
Said, this musk is so good.
All right, guys. So thank you very much for joining me tonight and engaging in all the discussion of this game and this game series. I love this series so much. It is so amazing. I love talking about it. I love sharing it. I'm like new to the series, but am definitely obsessed. So I always love hanging out with other people who love it as much as I do. So yeah, if you look at the description of the stream, you will find a bunch of links. One of them is my More Zebra Pig, and in that is my link of games and all of that. You'll somewhere in all of this is my
Trashed Panda
where you will take you where
said,
you'll see my games.
"See you on Twitch."
And you can go on Discord, and in that is the suggestions channel.
Lobo
If
said,
you would like to make a
"When will
recommendation
you stream
to
again
which
tonight?"
games we play. I'm going to be streaming on Twitch at 9:30, so in a half an hour. That'll give me time to, take a little break and get everything switched over to the other system. So, all right, guys. Thank you very much for hanging out, and hopefully I'll see you over on Twitch in a little while. Bye, guys. Thanks for coming.